Welcome to Dan's Talks. My guest today is Pierre Weber, who is the legendary owner of Pierre's Restaurant in Bridgehampton, a town which at one point had, I think, a French market, a French store with French wines, and Pierre was like threatening to become Paris in the Hamptons, but then everything moved away except Pierre's Restaurant and his Peugeot, which sat in front of his restaurant, and haven't seen it around lately. Is it out of commission?
It was a Citroën, not a
Yeah,
Peugeot,
I'm not.
Citroën,
I'm not Citroën.
and I sold it. It was too
Uh,
dangerous to drive around in that little car.
I was amazed nobody drove off with it. You had it out there for about 8 or 10 years. You'd, I guess, arrive in the morning and park it somewhere nearby.
And everybody knew I was at work.
It's a great car. Tell me a little bit about where you were born and how you came to come here, if you were born abroad. Um,
I was born in Paris, and my parents, they had a bakery in Paris. And of course, I was supposed to take over.
yeah.
It was a kind of a mom and pop operation. Mother is upstairs selling pastries. Daddy is downstairs making chocolate, like in the song. But that worked very well for them during the 30 glorious years after the war. But they thought it would work for me too. And I had to get married, imagine. So I tried. I tried a bit, but it was going nowhere. So I decided to come to United States. I knew New York. I was running marathon in New York, and I decided to stay.
You were running what in New York?
Marathon.
Oh, marathons. I
Yeah.
guess you got to see the whole city in one day there.
In one day, in 2 hours, in 54 minutes.
Was that the only marathon you ran or
Oh
more?
no, I did many marathon. I did a few in New York. I did London. I did Berlin, Paris many times.
Oh, wonderful.
These days are over.
How did you come to decide to do a restaurant in the Hamptons?
Oh, I'm gonna give you the short version. I was 20 years in New York,
Yep.
and I was doing wholesale pastries over there. And then I decided to let go everything. I took 1 year of vacation, and I heard about this restaurant, and I decided to take over.
What was
And the rest is a history, as they say.
yeah, was it Billy's Triple Crown Bar when you took it over?
Yes, no, it was not Billy's Triple Crowd. It was a kind of restaurant nightclub that was closing after Labor Day, reopening on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to put the restaurant on the map.
Well, when you were in New York, what did you do before you opened the restaurant here? What were you in a restaurant then?
No, I never had a restaurant before.
That would be interesting because people say restaurants are tough. They want to.
I
So
should have known better.
how did you feel you were trained enough to be able to do that?
Well, I was lucky enough to do a hotel school in Paris. And in a hotel school, you learn cooking, you learn service, you learn management. And for 3 years, I went to that school. So for me, it was nothing really new.
For food?
It was just hard work for many years before finally the restaurant was recognized over here.
So when you were in New York, what work did you do?
I was doing wholesale pastries for hotels and restaurants.
I see.
I was selling to Bloomingdale, Balducci, Grace's Marketplace.
So you knew that you were involved with all this business there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was fun. I loved it.
I have an odd question. I have a son who is an avid fisherman, and he fishes in the bay and off the pier at Sag Harbor, and he catches a fish. And is there any way he can give a fish to any charitable organization or a food pantry or anything, or a restaurant? I know he doesn't have a license, so he has it in a bucket, maybe some ice. What does he do besides take it home?
He takes it home and he has a nice fish.
Maybe we find some other way to do it too. I just thought it was,
I'm not allowed as a restaurant to buy off the street.
no, you don't.
No, I have to buy from a
Yeah,
licensed
right.
distributor.
So, has the menu changed at all over all these years? It's
Yes,
tell me about. I remember the pastry was next door for a while, and tell how did it evolve over the years? How long has it been here? Like 20 years now, more.
I opened in 2002. So that makes it 21 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So recently, because I kept all the menus, recently I went through the menus through the years, and there is some items that I had on the menu that I don't do any longer, but I'm gonna bring them back. So
Like
the
what?
menu changes very often. We just started something we have now a monthly special. So today is December 1st, and we have a new December special in addition to the all the other specials and a regular menu, etc.
What are you going to bring back that you haven't done in a long time?
Sea scallops, the pot au feu I will bring back, the beef bourguignon.
Oh, that's nice. It's one of
Yeah,
my,
these are nice winter dish.
yep.
And soon we're gonna have also the brandade. So you know, pretty
Yeah.
winter dishes that warm you up.
And you have a big, wonderful display out front of from, I guess, the pandemic brought it out, and it's quite a scene some days out there, and rather wonderful. You're on the north side of the street, so the sun shines bright on the restaurant, and
Yeah, I'm lucky.
you've also had entertainment from time to time. Do you still do that?
Yes, we do that every Tuesday night. We have live jazz, and we have a rotation of artists and players that come. And we have some regulars. They just want to listen to it on a Tuesday night, and it gives them an opportunity to get out of their house and in a good atmosphere to have a dinner.
Who are there any people you would mention that really come there often that people know?
Yeah, they sit at the bar. You want names?
Sure.
No, I cannot tell your names.
Or at the table. I mean, people, I'm sure there are plenty.
Yeah, there is. It depends. It really depends.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy to have this crowd over.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
And where I know you have um, upstairs, there's living space, I think.
It is, well, it used to be a kind of lounge,
Hmm.
but COVID killed it.
Yeah,
Yeah, people didn't want to be on top of each other anymore. So
yeah.
now we use it as a restaurant. We have some tables and we have private parties up there.
And the staff is, I would say, if there's 100 restaurants in the Hamptons, the staff is, as far as being attractive and friendly goes, like you're like first. You have just a wonderful, beautiful staff. How do they live? Where do they live in the Hamptons? Do you know, or do you take help with them? You help them?
Many live in Hampton Bays, and they come every day. And I'm very happy that they make a living, and they have the dignity to have a job. That is important. That's my job,
Yes.
to give them that access to the dignity to have a job.
Many of them are from Europe.
Some of them, yes, they feel comfortable in this European atmosphere where everything is different.
Yeah. And tell me about the Citroën. Is that the one? I can't remember. I mentioned earlier I thought it was a Peugeot, but it wasn't. When I was living in France, I had a Peugeot.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, why it had a little roof. It was a little tiny car. But the Citroën, as I recall, didn't it have no, what was it? Maybe it was a car that when you like stood on the bumper, it would go down.
Yeah. Oh, that's the DS.
Yeah.
The DS, yes. It is with the hydraulic
Yes.
system. Yeah, that was the next generations.
But you had the Deux Chevaux.
Yeah, deux chevaux.
And that car was Deux Chevaux is two horses.
Yeah,
Correct?
2 horses.
You're not gonna. I know it was kind of a real crappy, cheap car when it was first built. Of course, now they're so rare, they're so valuable. But it was a survivor. And why did they call it that?
The deux chevaux?
Yeah,
Because it has 2 horsepower.
no, it couldn't
Yes.
possibly just have 2 horsepower. It couldn't go very fast if it had just two.
Well, they were not. It depends on the pitch,
Oh, could it go?
It's a car that had no heat. Even at the cigarette lighter, they had nothing. You could put a radio in there
Yes,
because they had just a battery for this 2 horsepower car.
really was.
And in the winter, going to work,
Yeah,
you had no heat. So I had to cover myself and, bend it up.
yeah.
It was just like riding outside in the snow. It was fun though. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you sold it. It was, like I said, I have a little Triumph TR3 from 59.
Yes,
And
I know that
prefer
car.
to leave it out on the street because I figured somebody would drive off. That it would be easily found. I mean, the car is 60 years old, but they're wonderful old European cars. And that was the strangest automobile that was made ever, I think, except
Back
maybe
then, yeah.
there was the Yugo, I remember, was sort of a horrible car. But you kept it up all this time.
Yeah, I maintained it. I was using it for years.
Yeah.
I had a few. I had a blue one. I had a Truckett red, and then I had a yellow one.
Yeah, right. Now that I think about it, yes. What do you like to do in the Hamptons when you're on a day? Do you take any days off? You're always there.
I wish. Well, I go to Manhattan, so that's what I do. I go to Manhattan for some fresh air.
I see. What do you like to do?
Every day I walk my dog on the beach,
Uh,
and it's wonderful. We are so privileged to be able to do that. It's wonderful. And then my day changes, it's I approach my day differently after I see the ocean. Just
yeah.
come to work and it's not work anymore. It's just being here.
Yes, I know. A lot of people tell me that, and it's true for me as well. I live on a busy harbor, which is it reminded me of a town just to the east of Marseille. What's that town there? The next
Cannes,
Cassis.
Cassis, yes, of course.
Yeah, that's what the harbor reminded me of. And
Yeah,
so I love it. I just love it too. One of the great things people around here, I think, enjoy are the sunrises, particularly in the winter. Do you ever
yeah.
get out that early?
It's over here.
Yeah,
I have a son. He's 3 years old.
I didn't know.
He's 3 years old. You want to know about waking up at 5:30, 6 a.m.?
See, so your son gets you to the sunrise too.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he has no mercy.
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Um,
he's my joy. For me, it's a humbling experience to run a restaurant. It's wonderful. I've been meeting wonderful people in these 20 years, and I never took anything for granted. I bought this restaurant. I opened it in May 2002. May 2002. Do you know how many covers I did on July 4th of 2002?
I
July
mean,
4th. It was a Saturday. How
yeah,
many?
that would have been a large number, that even in your first year. Zero. Nobody came.
Zero.
You
And
were open, nobody came.
I will never forget that because it was the most humbling experience. And that tells me that, as my father used to say, when the day you think you're up there, you're already on the way down.
That's very true. But then you found advertising in Dan's papers, and I think that was made your whole restaurant.
That was magic. My life changed.
That's right. And Bridgehampton has changed even in these 20 years.
Absolutely.
Um, the center of town is now beautiful instead of filled with gas stations, for example.
Oh, that's right. It changed a lot. It took
And
them a while though to change the that
yeah,
building, but
yeah,
it's a beautiful building.
yeah.
You have across the street, you have the topping rose, and Almond came over, and it's a and the other side of the town also. There is some vibrant restaurant that do attract people in the town.
It is. It's become my dad, when we first moved out here, he said, if you want to be in the Hamptons, you can be in East Hampton and Southampton. But if you want to get away from it all, you can be in Bridgehampton.
You're in the center. You're in the center of everything.
It was all farms, but now it's what it is. And thank you for being on the podcast. And
David, thank you, Dan.
I will see you there.
I will be here. No worry.
Okay. Bye bye.
Have a happy holiday.
You too.